KCBD News Channel 11 at 10.
And good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. The city of Levelland hopes to start the new year with a new plan to regulate the storage of agriculture commodities.
The latest draft of an ordinance is expected to be released sometime this week so people can give feedback before it's placed on the January 8th council agenda. Meanwhile, KCBD News Channel 11's Brittany Crittenden is looking into the deal that brought the grain company at the center of this process to Levelland.
She joins us now with what she's learned, Brittany.
Well, Case and Christy, the Penny Newman grain company became interested in the rail park inside Levelland city limits in early 2015. By May, the Levelland Economic Development Corporation had struck a deal with the company to boost the city's economy. We're now getting a closer look at the promises made by each side.
Mayor and Council.
Before City Manager James Fisher can bring an updated ordinance proposal before City Council, he's awaiting input from agribusiness partners in the area. The Texas Cotton Ginners Association is leading that charge, but its edits will likely include input from Penny Newman. An information request led us to the agreement that brought the grain company to Levelland more than 8 years ago. It originally came to Levelland to utilize the rail park to distribute cottonseed along the train tracks. The Levelland Economic Development Corporation granted Penny Newman the land to operate, valued at $450,000. The council also approved its request to pay for infrastructure improvements on the rail park and the addition of a rail spur with sales tax bonds totaling $1.4 million. KLVT News was at that council meeting in May of 2015. It reports the LEDC would front $250,000 from its budget for the improvements, only falling back on the sales tax money as a last resort. The LEDC did not offer any tax abatements as incentive for Penny Newman to come to Levelland. To get the grant and improvements to the park, Penny Newman promised to invest $5 million in Levelland through the facility. It agreed to employ at least 6 people in its first 5 years, with a total payroll of at least $225,000. It also pledged to increase rail traffic in the park by at least 10,000 rail cars in its first 8 years, or pay the difference in revenue. In the last 5 years, drought conditions forced Penny Newman to change its focus from cottonseed to almond hulls, turning to trucks instead of rail cars. Attention turned toward the company this summer after testing found its grounds as the primary source of the red flower beetle nuisance. Fisher says the city will never know exactly where the infestation came from, but residents in the Kaufman Addition say the beetles became an issue after the company made the switch to almond hulls. And that period for tracking rail car traffic ended this May, according to the agreement. Next, we're looking into if Penny Newman withheld its side of the deal over the last 8 years. Case and Christy.
Okay, thank you, Brittany.